This week, I started out putting these flowers on a masterboard for Masterboard Monday, and I decided to finish it by slicing them up into 3.5 by 2.5 ATC cards. And here's how I did it. Hi, I'm Christine, the artist behind Darlissa Designs, and I'm happy you're here. Welcome. Hi everyone. Today I'm going to use one of these charts, and I sprayed it a little bit with water so it will stop curling up on me. I could tape it down, but I didn't want to tape it down because I like to move it around a little bit so that you can see. And I'm going to do these, the same palette I used for the last project with the bird. And I'm just going to come in and do a bunch of flowers. And I'm going to fill up the whole page with flowers. Now, because this is not watercolor paper, or, you know, meant to be painted on, it's probably going to, now, let me show you what I'm doing here. I'm going to dip the corner in here, but then I'm going to dip it in here so that as I'm painting, and I got way too much paint on there, it mixes and gives me some different colors. So I messed that one up, but it doesn't matter because I'm going to come back and do some more. I have a little bit of a cheat sheet here so that I can, which is a good idea if you're going to do a large masterboard with lots of stuff on it. It's a good idea to have a little bit of a cheat sheet because sometimes I start painting and kind of get lost, and then I end up painting the same flower all over the entire board. So I'm going to get a little bit larger as I go down the stem here. And I don't want to do too large because these are going to get cut up. So I want smaller pieces. But if I do get a really large vine here, I'll go back and put some flowers over the top of it. So last night I went to go brush my teeth and get ready for bed, and as I was going to turn on the bathroom light, and I thought that a light blew out, but it was weird because it seemed to happen before I actually hit the switch. It was just like an instant thing that happened. And then I realized when I laid in bed that I was seeing these little flashes of light, like lightning, every time I moved my eye, every time I looked in a different direction. So I started doing a little research and found out that there's this thing called vitreous posterior detachment. So apparently you have some gel in the back of your eye that when you get older, sometimes it will separate from the retina, and as it's separating, you can see flashes of light. So I guess that's happening. So I'm having a little bit of a problem today, and I'm just gonna keep watching it, and hopefully, because they say that it can, there's a possibility that you could get a detached retina. So hopefully that's not going to happen. And it also said it's not likely, but possible that I could have done that when I fell off of the bed running away from the rat. So I swear, it is just always something. But, you know, it could be worse, I guess. So today I've just been taking it easy. Apparently this can last for weeks. But we'll see. I guess I'm going to have to make an appointment to go get just went to the eye doctor too, not too long ago. I'll go again, although it says that there's not really much they can do, but just watch it. And I don't really notice too much of a difference in my vision. There's a little bit of cloudiness. So hopefully that's as bad as it'll get. We'll see. I'm not liking this getting older stuff at all. I like that pretty little flower. Let's put a little bit of green in there, like it's coming. Off of there. Skylar was here today. We had a lot of fun doing lots of artwork. Okay, now I'm making them a lot bigger than I really wanted to. But that's okay, because if I have to, I can come in and do little flowers around them. If I want to, let's do a little gold in here too. I am not really great at doing flowers, but that's why I wanted to do this project, because I think that if you just tackle the things that you're not good at, that's how you learn. And I'm not even going to worry about, I'm literally just throwing color in here, and as it dries I'll go back in and do little adjustments. Okay, so this is why I don't like to tape it down, because I'm all going in that direction. I'm gonna turn this because I want this to be going in every different direction. So I'm gonna do kind of like a little tulip here. I need to get a different cheat sheet because I'm not 100% happy with the flowers that are on here. But because I did not expect Skylar to be here today, I didn't really plan. I knew what I wanted to do, but I didn't have the time to plan like I usually do. So, but I still wanted to put something out. And not just to throw something out, but I also like to get in here and do something, even if it's not perfect. I like to be sure that I've done something. So every day doesn't have to be perfect and planned. And you see, I'm not even really cleaning my brush that much, but that's okay because it gives me these streaks, and then whatever turns out muddy, I'll go back and cover up and do another layer to kind of brighten it up a bit. Let's do some little flowers. And I will connect them with stems. I think we should do some purple ones like this, because that would be pretty. And then maybe I'll come back with a little pink, a lighter pink. I'll do a little lighter pink there because, you know what? We might as well do like a whole little bundle here. You see how I'm just throwing them out there. But in the end, once you go back and you do a second layer and go over what dries, and then you can fine tune it then if you're not happy with how it comes out. This almost looks like a hydrangea. Why don't we do that? So this is a good way to do hydrangeas. My granny had some beautiful, all different colors in her yard. So what I'll do here is probably, let me get a little bit of white, because what I'm going to do now, since I decided to do that, I'm just going to go in and kind of go around what I've done. And then that way when I go back and do the second layer, it'll look like it's, I could have just, if I would have thought about it, you could just do one layer of these flowers and then come back in and do another layer on top. But I want this all mixed up here, and then we'll let that dry, and then I'll come back and do more. Let's do some blue ones. I'll actually, you know what? Before I do that, I'm going to take a little pink. We'll do it a different way here. Do a little pink, magenta, and then a little bit of light pink. Ooh, that's going to be a big one. And then I'm going to mix in a little bit of white. So we'll see. That's a big one. We'll see. Let's do one more smaller one right here. Well, I just covered up all my pink, my light pink. I should have done the, there. All right, we'll see how that works. I'd like to do another one here and maybe there. Let's do some in blue on the other side. So I'm going to do the darker color first because that pink really, the lighter pink really got covered up. So this Thursday, I think what I'm going to do is I have some canvases that I bought from Amazon, and I would like to, they're smaller canvases. I believe they're 6 by 6. So I wanted to pick a theme or a subject or a color palette or something. I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to do yet, but I would like to just practice doing some paintings. And then next week I will, well, actually I may, ooh, that's too much. I just want to dot some around a little bit. I'm not 100% sure what I want to do. So I definitely want to do that. But I also will have to cut these up and make them into something. So there's some hydrangeas. They're not done yet. We'll go back and add some pretty flowers on there. What else? I love this little daisy here. Or is that echinacea? Well, echinacea would be brown, right? But I don't really, oh, a cone flower. Yeah, that's a little cone flower. I don't have all the colors to make them just right. Let's do a little eucalyptus. So eucalyptus has these little round leaves. I love the smell of eucalyptus. And they kind of get a little bit bigger as you go down. Not that big, but I would love to get really, that's a lot. I would love to get really good at doing flowers and vines and stuff. I used to be able to do a lot of flowers, and I just don't remember how I did them. So I'm relearning. I love these little liner brushes. Okay. Now I should have done the leaves closer because the eucalyptus goes right on the stem. But when you make a mistake, you don't have to worry about it because it's art. And it doesn't have to be a eucalyptus. It could just be a pretty, we don't know what it is. This is how I accidentally learn how to paint things. Because I'm really stubborn and I won't go and do a tutorial or, I've said before, I will eventually go do a tutorial. But I like to just play first. And then when I do go watch a tutorial of someone who really knows what they're doing, I kind of understand it better because I've already done it once and I kind of have an idea, if that makes sense, of what your brushes and now I'm not using really great brushes right now. And because I'm not feeling so great, I'm not really probably doing a great job, but that's what I wanted to show you with this project, is you really don't have to, because in the end it's going to be just a bunch of flowers. Just throwing something down like this, it does help you. You realize that you can do this and just not think and just start putting things on the paper, and it comes out, I mean, sometimes it's a mess, but it comes out, sometimes you end up with some really great pieces, or at least like backgrounds for some pieces. You know, some of my best work is just stuff that I didn't have a plan for, and I just started throwing. That's Bob outside, by the way. Do you hear the weed whacker? He's out there mowing our dirt. We're finally getting some rain, but it's been so dry here in Florida that and I noticed this year everybody just kind of gave up on their grass. Nobody has grass. So I don't feel too bad because we're not the only ones. So he went to his mom's house today and worked on her yard. And I was surprised he came back to do ours because he's been sick. But he's out there doing it. He hates being inside, so. This one, okay, this is not my favorite flower here, but it's okay. And sometimes when it's like that and you hate it, you can go back with markers and do something better. But again, I'm going to cut these up and they're going to be backgrounds for stuff, so it's all good. Let's do some big, let's do this larger. I'm going to do some big leaves here. Just throw them in there. Didn't want to do that, but I did, and it's done now, so just big random leaves. I want these, I want it to be kind of a dry brush because I want it to look like it's, and I didn't do it yet. I kind of did it there and then covered it up. I wanted to do something that looks a little veiny like that, like there's veins running through it. So there's that. Okay, let's go back and do some more on these hydrangeas and just come in and do some of those flowers that I was doing before. Just a few. You could leave it very kind of abstract like that. You're not even really going to see these too much, but I will come back and do some lighter colors on top. That's why I want to do these darker ones under here. And have some leaves go off here. I'll just do a few random leaves because then I'll paint over it. Skylar and my daughter Alyssa, her mommy. Skylar stayed here today while Alyssa went to work, and she did some artwork. I'll show you her artwork here. And then when Alyssa got home, we started watching on Netflix the new Little House on the Prairie. Skylar loved the original. And of course, you know, I was born in 1970, so that was one of the first sets of books that I read. And I remember reading one entire book in one day. And I was very young. And that's when I really started loving reading. And I love series like that because I'm so sad when a book is over. I want more. When Skylar lived here with us, we watched the original series and she loved it. Now, she hasn't seen Grandpa Bob in a while, so he came home towards the end of it, and she missed a little bit of it. And I kept saying, you don't like this one? And she says, I do. So I think she really did like it. I think it was more of a, I haven't seen Grandpa Bob situation. So, okay, I'm going to let those dark ones dry, and let's work on the pink ones. Okay. So we watched the first one today, and then she had to go to speech therapy. But she had fun. We did, for a little while, we were in the art room, and I started a journal page, which I'll show you when it's done. I didn't record it because Skylar had a million questions today, which is cute, but it was a bit much to record to try and do something. So we just enjoyed spending time together, and I have a giant pad of paper in the closet, and she loves, we moved the furniture out of, I have just rolling carts in the closet, and the pad of paper is mounted to the back wall, or hung back there, and she gets the little stool out and just sits there. Her little cabinet with all her painting supplies are there. And so for a while we worked in there, and then I needed to sit down for a while. So we did some coffee table artwork today, which was fun. She loves artwork, and Kylie does too. When we went up north in the camper, she did a lot of artwork last weekend. She took it with her though, so I can't show you. Now, you could, I have a lot of flower stamps. You could make this easier and just stamp a bunch of flowers and then come back in and paint them. But like I said, I like to practice doing my flowers. You don't have to know how to do flowers to do this. And I promise, it's still gonna look cool. All right, I'll keep working on it, and I'll come back in a little bit. Okay, now I'm adding just some little vines, and I'm just going to go in and put some tiny leaves around them. And I think I might go sit down and work on this with some Posca pens when this dries, which I won't take you with me, but I think that will be an easy way to finish this up and add some tinier details and some dots, and I'll come back and show you bits and pieces of that. But I like doing different layers, you know. I think that'll be cool. I want lots of little tiny details. So because I want lots of little tiny details, this would be quite a long video, but I just so you have an idea and you can see the final result. But see, I'm not even really, I'm just going in and just doing little, almost little dots, but because it's the side of the brush, they look like leaves. And it doesn't have to be perfect. Again. And if you really want some detail later, you can, so see I messed that up. I can go in and add a little flower there. And like I said, that's a great way to do it with your acrylic markers. I love Posca, and they have them on Amazon, so I'll put the affiliate link in the description, but those are my favorite ones. I'd like to try some different ones. I haven't tried a lot of them, but there's Arteza. I like Arteza stuff. Sometimes it's a little cheaper. It's great for working on these projects. There's another brand on Amazon I would like to try. And I cannot, it starts with an O. I can't remember what the name of them what they're called right now, but I definitely will eventually order them and tell you what I think. But I love acrylic paint pens. But I do think it's really cool to start with a regular paint and paintbrushes, because you can't do this with a... You get different marks. Oh, there's Grandpa Bob mowing our dirt. We gotta give it to him. Even when he's not feeling well, he just wants to be outside, which is why I think he's as healthy as he is, because his diet is terrible. I tease him all the time that he has no idea what I put in his meatballs. There's some healthy stuff in there. He eats healthier than he thinks. And it's hard to cook meat for someone when you don't eat meat anymore, but at least I used to, so I kind of know what it's supposed to smell like. He likes my cooking. He hates broccoli, but he eats it all the time. You can grind up a lot of broccoli in a meatball and never know. Okay, I'm going to let this dry, and I'm going to go sit down and do... I really love this one. I think I might do another one of those before we go. Yeah, I'll sit down. I am sweating because I try not to put the air on when I'm in here filming because it's really loud. And it is quite warm in here today. There's another one, and I'll add the little top part. Where am I going to do it? See, that's why you got to do the larger ones first, which I didn't mean to go as large as I did, but I did. Here, we'll try and squeeze one in here. I was so happy when I learned how to do these little daisies like this because they really look cool. And it's super easy. And look at that. How cool. I was thinking about my channel today and how I like to be really super organized and have a plan, and I always over plan and then get disappointed because I can't keep up with it. So I know I haven't been extremely consistent with my I love the Tuesday tips, but those are a little harder to film from a full long form. So I will continue doing those, but I think for right now I need to just try and put out videos when I'm feeling well, which is probably about twice a week I can get it done. I think right now I need to just have fun and not get overwhelmed and just show you what I'm working on and what I'm learning. And then when I get the proper tools and a new computer and things get a little bit easier and I'm not having to try and work and pay the bills at the same time, then maybe I can get a little more organized and do my channel the way I really want to, where you know exactly when a video is going to come out. Like now I say Masterboard Monday, which, you know, it's Tuesday and I'm still working on it. So when I say Masterboard Monday, I mean, I'm going to work on a masterboard on Monday, but that doesn't mean I'm going to post it on Monday. So that's the kind of thing I would like to fix and be more consistent with. I'm working on it. Okay, let's do some pink. And I was doing some really cool flowers before, but now that I'm in here, I can't think of what I want to do. So, let's do some more of those little 5 petals because, well, I did more than 5 petals. Let's do some more of these because they're easy. And now I want to overlap. And like I said, this is really difficult for me to do because I hate going over things that I've already done and covering it up. But it is a good way to get rid of some of the things that I did not like. And while it's easy to take your markers and go to the sofa, or anywhere else for that matter, it's quicker to use paint to fill in. So I'm going to do this, and hopefully I can finish filling this up. I thought this would be a really cool, quick project for a Monday Masterboard, and it is definitely not. I'm sure there's other ways I could do it quicker, but again, not feeling well also means I'm not thinking well, and I hate to complain about it. And I try and say, when I don't feel well, I repeat in my head, I feel great today. I won't let it get me down. But in reality, it's hard to do. When you don't feel well, it's hard to keep yourself from saying that, right? So I say this because I know there's a lot of people that have the same issues, and it's very difficult when you don't have someone that, because I look fine to everyone, and they have no idea that I'm in so much pain. And it's frustrating. It's frustrating for Bob because he works so hard, and sometimes I know he just thinks that I'm milking it. It's frustrating that people think that I could go to work from 9 to 5 and have a normal schedule when you know you can't. To the outside world, you look lazy. And I know my family knows that when I'm feeling well, I can do the work of, 5 days worth of work in one day because you want to get it all done because you feel so good. And I am able to do that sometimes. And I try not to complain. But sometimes you just want to just say, hey, leave me alone. I'm doing the best I can. Right? That's okay. There are people that understand and go through the same thing. Whoops. So, not to complain, but to let people who are dealing with the same things understand that there are other people that are going through the same thing, and it's nice to know. And I think that there are cures out there. I think the reason why so many, and there are more of us now than there were years ago, and I think it's because of the food that we eat and the stuff that we're exposed to, and I think help is on its way. I think we're going to have some new technologies and some new discoveries in medicine soon, and I'm just holding out, waiting for that to happen. In the meantime, I try and be as healthy and natural as possible. I have a huge apothecary, which I'll be showing on my other channel eventually when I'm feeling better, on my personal channel. I can't wait. So if you are going through something like that and you feel the same way, leave a comment down below so we can all encourage each other. And sometimes it's just nice to know that somebody else understands. And if you don't want to put that out in public, send me a message, darlissadesigns@gmail.com. darlissadesigns@gmail.com. I hear ya. Especially today, I hear you. Because, But you know what? Sometimes feeling bad and getting up and doing something anyway makes you feel better. So that is what I'm doing. And I hope that you all will stick around and be patient with me when I have these downs, because this is what makes me feel a lot better. Just being creative. I think I just did too many things too much all at once. I need to slow down and just be creative and say no for a little while. Not forever. My friends and my family think that I'm a hermit, but a lot of times it's just because I don't want to drag everybody down and I don't want to feel like I'm being held hostage, you know? It is so hard to be around a lot of people that have a lot of energy and are super healthy, and then you have to be the one that says, okay, enough is enough, I gotta go home now. So sometimes I just don't join in, but then people forget about you. Which is why I love getting connected with people who love to do art and other people who have the same issues. Maybe I'll leave that in my video and maybe I won't. I always talk about it and then I don't put it in the video. Because I really don't want to complain. I like this one. That one's cool. So here is another layer of flowers, and I'm going to let these dry, and I'm going to go back and do the same outlining that I did on the rest of them and see where I'm left. I'll add some little flowers in between, but I really want to cover most of the white in the background. So I'm going to continue working on this. It's taking a lot longer than I thought, but I'm just going to work on it a little at a time until I get it done, and then I'll show you what it looks like all cut up. Okay, here is about as much as I'm going to do. I wanted to fill in all the white spaces, but it was a struggle getting through this week. In fact, I did a lot of complaining in this video, which I'll probably cut a lot of that out because I just was feeling so terrible and trying to push through it. But this was a really cool little chill project to work on the sofa. It was really longer and more detailed than I planned. And I want to practice doing more of these quicker. So I'll make these again. But I'm going to cut these up and we'll see the magic. So let me get my guillotine and we'll slice it up into ATCs. I was going to do more than just ACTs, but I think I'm going to go ahead and do all of them 3.5 by 2.5 because I need a bunch of them anyway. Okay, here is, they actually all came out pretty even. Here we go. There's that. 2, 3. I like that one. 4. I like this one too because I like that flower. All right, I lost count already. This one's bright and colorful. And remember, these are going to have things glued on top of them. So if there's a section that you really don't like, that one's really pretty. I did not love that flower, but I think it's going to be cool in the background. You know, just peeking out behind something. I love this flower. So some of these, you can tell, some of them, when I really wasn't feeling well, I just painted and didn't pay attention or just scribbled with my pen. These are, I think, probably my favorite ones, these little pink, whatever they are, daisies, echinacea. But some of my scribbles actually turned out nice. And you see, look at the difference. Feeling well, not feeling well. Oh, but the cool thing is that, you know, it doesn't matter. It's really just getting color on the card. I really liked this flower too. And that one. And here's the cool part of the scraps that are left over, because these little pieces that are left over will make great little tabs for, you know, like this one, you can fold them over and glue on your journal card or whatever to pull a card out of a pocket, or you know, a tab to mark a place, or when you're making tags, these are colorful little pieces that you can add. And maybe a belly band or just a piece of colorful striping down the side of something. So these are great too to use as backgrounds for if you've seen some of the 5x7s that I mat. So that's what we got from that project, and I'm very happy that I finished it. And I'm starting to feel better, and I have some really cool things that I'm excited to get to. So today I never did finish cleaning my art room, so I'm gonna finish that, and I will be back with another video soon. Thank you for being patient. We've got lots of new subscribers here, so thank you, even though I wasn't posting consistently and doing all the videos that I like to do this week. You guys still came by and subscribed, and I appreciate that. Welcome. So if you like this project, hit the like button, subscribe, and I will see you soon. Thanks for watching.